most impressive win so far today was the Connecticut Sun.
Okay.
The way they dominated a hot Indiana Fever team. Yes, an Indiana Fever team that lacks playoff experience, but still, Indiana Fever was on fire after the Olympic break. They've got Caitlin Clark. The arena goes crazy. The away arena still goes crazy when Caitlin Clark scores, and Connecticut handled business in a great way.
It wasn't just the record that told us that the Fever were one of the hottest teams in the Olympic break. They were averaging over 90 points per game. Best held to 69 points. First time being held under 70 points since the Olympic break. Talk about what the Sun did defensively so well.
Well, we talk about basketball being a game of chess, and especially in the series and especially in the playoffs, you got to make a move. And how smart was the Connecticut Sun staff? Give Stephanie White credit for putting DeWanna Bonner on Caitlin Clark to start the game. Mind you, Caitlin Clark and Dejanay Carrington have been going at it all season long, but you put DeWanna Bonner, who is 6'4", she's got great reach to chase Caitlin Clark around, to contest Caitlin Clark's shots, to start the game. Caitlin against DeWanna was 0 of 4 from the field. And what is the most dangerous thing when it comes to Caitlin Clark? Don't let her see one go in. Don't let her hit one because she can get hot so quickly. So you want to try and snuff that out from the start. That is what Connecticut did with DeWanna Bonner defensively.
It was an absolutely incredible performance. And also, just to give you some flowers as well, you said that the reason you felt like for the Sun this could be the year is because of the in-season acquisition to get Marina Mabrey, who made a little history off the bench.
Right, because what happens, right? Connecticut Sun plays defense. Okay, check. They did that today. Alyssa Thomas gets a triple-double, right? That's something we've seen before. That's something Connecticut is known for. Shout out to Alyssa Thomas. More triple-doubles than anyone in the league. But at times, Connecticut has missed scoring. What do? They go get Marina Mabrey at the trade deadline. And what does she do in her playoff debut with Connecticut? She puts up 27 points off the bench. To have that kind of scoring power coming off the bench is something that could set this Connecticut Sun team apart compared to the team they've been in past playoffs.
Most points off the bench in WNBA postseason history and hands the Indiana Fever their biggest postseason loss in France.
So look, what I saw from the Indiana Fever, let me turn up my volume real quick so you guys can hear me. What I saw from the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun, there's a lot to talk about. One, we could talk about the physicality of the game. The Sun came out and they were physical. They trapped on Caitlin. Their game plan was to get the ball out of Caitlin's hands. We'll let any of you guys beat us, but not Caitlin Clark. That's the game plan. And they executed. Another thing, we could talk about the reffing. We could talk about the poke to the eye to Caitlin Clark, which I have a great video on my other channel. But there, you don't go up for a block shot like this and then come down with your fingers like this directly at someone's eyes. The fact that that wasn't in review was absolutely ridiculous, right? So there's a lot to talk about, but let's talk about the Sun real quick. The Sun came out. We had shooters everywhere, right? Shooting the ball, wide open shots. The Indiana Fever getting broken down on defense. They're not communicating well. They're too focused on the main ball handler instead of sticking to their man. And then we have a leak out for wide open threes. We're going under way too many screens. That's giving them opportunities for threes. We got to get in the film room and break this stuff down, because if I'm the Sun, I'm going to continue to jab right. I'm going to have my defender go under the screen. I'm going to jab right like I'm going to the the ball handler up top. And I'm going to jab right, come back to my position, and take the three every time, because we're biting and we're going under the screen. Now, the Fever shot absolutely terrible from the field. I can say that. They did have a lot of good looks. When you have Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark only making, I think they only made 4 3-point shots or 5 3-point shots out of 25, not going to win a ball game like that, right? Then there's a mismatch with DeWanna Bonner in the 4 spot for us. We're going to either have to play Dantas. We're going to have to start Dantas. She had a decent shooting night. She shot 57% from the field. Knocked down 2 or 3 threes, I believe. Nalissa Smith pretty much gave zero production. She didn't look the same. She didn't look aggressive at all. She's like letting her girlfriend go to the rack. Like, come on, man. We can't have that. Put her on the bench. Don't let her play. This one looked terrible. AB didn't look herself. We're not giving any high screens. We're not picking and popping. We're not running our offense. Caitlin Clark only had, 2 turnovers? That shows me right there that the Indiana Fever were playing absolutely way too slow. When Caitlin Clark doesn't have more than 6 turnovers, the Indiana Fever are not winning. They're playing too slow. No one's getting out in transition. There's no fast break buckets. There's no fast break points. There's no leak outs. There's no even attempts. There's no one even running to give Caitlin Clark an attempt to make that pass. All Caitlin Clark's turnovers come from pretty much leak outs or backdoor cuts, and the center just reads it and they pick her off for a steal. I would rather see that and play fast and get in rhythm and get the defensive team out of position, tire them out, than rather play the slow offense that we're running. Let's run the ball through Aaliyah Boston down low, which is absolutely not going to work against this team. Absolutely not. I saw glimpses of like, okay, the Connecticut Sun are tired. You have to run. We are playing absolutely way too slow for my liking, and it's just not going to work. It's not going to fit. It's not going to work. Obviously, next game on Wednesday, I don't expect the Fever to come out and shoot the way they did. I expect them to have a complete turnaround when it comes to their shooting. I expect a completely different game. To me, personally, I thought they were going to have it going into the second half. They're only down by 8. And then next thing you know, Marina Mabrey gets on an absolute heater and starts going shot for shot with anybody on the Fever. I mean, she's just knocking out everything in sight. The basket's looking big, and she's just shooting it. And she's making it. You know, now as far as Caitlin Clark goes, she's just got to get going. She's got to get her feet under her. She's got to get in rhythm, and she has to be physical. Look, the Connecticut Sun are talking crap. They're going to be physical out there. They're going to rah-rah. It's playoff time. There's a lot of calls from the refs that I didn't like, and there's a lot of calls that they didn't call. Like Lexi Hall getting a call on a over the back is just ridiculous. It wasn't even over the back. She came from the side and tried to get a rebound, call a foul, get her in foul trouble. Now she has 3 fouls. We have to sit her down, which Lexi Hall had a very good productive game. You know, she all over the board, second chance opportunities, just playing great defense on the pretty much their best scorer. Like Lexi had a great game. Offensively, she doesn't look as confident right now, but we got to get that going. There's not much time. They have about 2 days. They got to get in the film room. They got to get to rest. I think they can come out and get a win. They got to get a win in Connecticut. You know, there's been a little bit of disrespect, I believe. You know, the Connecticut Sun putting up a bandwagon, pretty much the Indiana Fever fans since 2024 bandwagon cam. And they did like a camera showing all the Indiana Fever fans and calling them bandwagons at the Suns arena. Like, that is so disrespectful. The fans that have pretty much turned this whole league around, ticket sales, jersey sales, everything you could think of. And then they not only fly into your town, pay money for that, pay money for hotels, pay money to get in your arena, which the cheapest ticket was $133. Imagine that. And beer sales, hot dog sales, water sales, juice sales, drink sales, whatever you could think of in there. And you want to sit there and put up a bandwagon cam in the arena and absolutely just completely disrespect all of Caitlin Clark's fans and the Indiana Fever fans after they travel everywhere and they pack out your arenas time and time again. You're going to sit there and disrespect them. Me personally, I would refund. I would get a refund for Wednesday game. Anybody going to the Wednesday game, anybody who's a Fever fan, I would absolutely refund every single ticket so the Connecticut Sun could feel that. They should feel it. Oh, you're going to call us bandwagon? Okay, watch this. You're going to have 20 people at your game. Obviously, we know that's not going to happen, but that's what I would do. That's just disrespectful. So let's get back to the game. I know I drifted off a little bit, but they're going to have to stick. They're going to have to communicate on defense. They can't have defensive breakdowns. They have to close out better. They have to stick with their man. They cannot continue to keep their eyes on the ball, main ball handler, and leave their man open for slips. The Indiana Fever have to do a better job of that. Besides that, I think the offense will come around. They need to stop running that drop coverage defense. It's not going to work. They need to blow up the screens. They need to stop going under screens, and they need to blow up the transition. Blow off the handoff. Cut off every angle possible. There's too much to talk about. We're giving wide open shots at the key. The defense was terrible today, and they're not going to win any games if the defense doesn't start stepping up. And it starts with Chrissy Sides. Chrissy Sides does not know how to call a timeout when they're in transition. I mean, when the Sun are pretty much on a run, we don't know how to call the right timeouts. We don't know how to give the right rotations. There's a lot that Chrissy Sides still is learning. Yes, she got a big tech today. That's great. Shows some passion. But there's a lot of things that Chrissy Sides has to work on. And she's supposed to be a defensive specialist coach. Where is the defense, Chrissy Sides? Where? It's like, how do we not game plan for this? How do we not scheme for this? And let me not take anything away from the Suns. That's a great team with a great coach, and they have a great team. They have a great veteran team who have been in this position time after time again. So they know. You can see it on them. They brought that intensity. And the Indiana Fever, if you don't bring that intensity Wednesday, it's going to be the same result. So it's going to start with intensity, a game plan defensively, and playing fast-paced basketball like the Indiana Fever do. Backdoors, cuts, transition. Then that's going to open up our 3-ball. So, like I said, I think the Indiana Fever come out Wednesday, have a completely different game. I can see them shooting the ball completely different. I don't see Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark combining for what they combined for. I expect them to come out and combine for 50-plus points and help their team get a win. They didn't have a great scoring night. They only put up 69 points, which is not good. And the Fever want to keep teams under 84 points, and they didn't do that tonight. So I expect them to come out on Wednesday, locked in and focused, ready to go. And the WNBA really needs to look at what happened to Caitlin Clark, because that was a clear intentional foul. So you guys let me know what you guys think, man. Let's have a great week. I appreciate you guys. If you guys pulled up to the live, you guys showed mad love. I appreciate that as well. Besides that, I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Welcome to Game Day. I'm out.